Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Gravity Sports Podcast. My name is Terrence, and I'm here with Ty. In this episode, we'll be discussing the NBA play-in and playoff predictions, Jrue Holiday's contract extension, Blake Griffin's retirement, and what are the expectations for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But before we get started, how you doing, my boy? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just ready for the playoffs, man. Really excited, and yeah, doing good, and just ready for the playoffs. And yeah, how about you, though, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. The season went by so fast. The NBA season went by so fast, and we in the postseason. We in the postseason now, so let's get into it. So for the playing game tonight, we got the Lakers and the Pelicans. Who you got tonight?
All right, so for the Lakers and Pelicans, I'm going to talk some. So like I said, I am excited for this play-in for two reasons. One reason is that we have one of the biggest stars in the play-in tournament this year. So this is actually probably the best play-in tournament that we had ever since it was made in 2021. I'm not believing, if I'm not mistaken. But I think this is like one of the best. These could be like the closest games we ever got in a play-in tournament too. So I just think that like these games is going to be off the wire, real close, and really interesting. But about what you were saying, so the first game we got is the Lakers and Pelicans. Of course, I'm gonna have to say the Lakers. The Pelicans just lost to the Lakers on the final game of the NBA season, and they dominated them. And Anthony Davis and LeBron James, you can't count them out in a Game 7 type game. And but then again, it's Zion Williamson too. But it all depends on if the Lakers are really trying to play the Nuggets, because the Nuggets, I don't see nobody in the West beating the Nuggets in the 7-game series. But I'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, I have the Lakers just because they dominated the last game. And they were both playing at their best, and I just think the Lakers have this in the bag. So I got Lakers being the number 8 game, that 8th seed, right?
7 seed.
7 seed, yeah, the 7 seed.
Yeah, so they'll play the Nuggets.
Yeah, the 7 seed, yeah, 7 seed.
Yeah, I also have the Lakers beating Pelicans, like you said. The Lakers, they beat the Pelicans in the last regular season game. And I mean, you can't count out LeBron and AD. Plus, they have Austin Rivers, Jrue Holiday, Taurean Prince, etc. They got a great bench. They got D'Lo, and I think for the Lakers, D'Lo, he's the X factor. Going into that game and going into the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, he's gonna be the X factor. Because obviously, LeBron and AD, they're always gonna show up, but who's gonna be that third star? It could be D'Angelo Russell. It could be Austin Reeves. It could be Jrue Holiday. They don't really know who that third star is going to be, but I think D'Lo can be that third star. So I think for the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell is the X factor going into that game and going into the postseason as well. But I do have the Lakers beating the Pelicans, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers lost to the Pelicans, because you got Zion, you got Brandon Ingram, you got CJ McCollum. That's 3 stars right there. They can all get buckets. So I'm excited about this playing game right here. But for now, I'm gonna go with Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles has the upper hand. And the other playing game, what's other playing game in the East?
The West, the East. We got the Miami Heat.
The Miami Heat, the 76ers. Yeah. And for that one, I'm excited for that one too, because for one, Jimmy Butler, he's going up against his former team, and we all know how Jimmy does in the playoffs. But I'm obviously gonna go with the Heat. I'm going with the Heat, and then too, I feel like if Joel Embiid doesn't make it to the playoffs, I don't think he stays in Philly. I don't think he stays in Philly. Because think about it, he hasn't been past the second round since he was a rookie. He hasn't been past the second round. And, they could have kept Jimmy Butler, but instead they kept Tobias Harris. And that right there, that was a mistake. That's really what fueled up Jimmy Butler. And now since he's playing against his former team in the play-in, I mean, I'm not saying the Sixers won't make the playoffs. I think they'll make the eighth seed, but I just don't see them beating a healthy Heat team with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Terry Rozier. They acquired Terry Rozier from the trade deadline too. So I think I got the Heat making it to the 7th seed and going up against the Knicks. And so for Philly, because who would they would either play Chicago or Atlanta. So I think Philly can beat either one of those teams for the AC. But then again, they'll have to go up against the number 1 seed, the Boston Celtics, which they lost to last year with Embiid and James Harden. But I think I don't know if Tyrese Maxey is capable of being that secondary star, because last season they had James Harden as their main point guard. But we're just gonna have to see if if Tyrese Maxey can be that secondary star that Joel Embiid desperately needs. But yeah, I have the Sixers beating the Heat. I have the Heat beating the Sixers in the play-in.
Wow, I can't believe you say that about my Sixers, man. Look, bro. Look, the Sixers, we're not a 7th seed. We're a 7th seed on paper, but we're not a 7th seed. The only reason why we're in the 7th position is because Joel Embiid was injured. Yeah, Joel Embiid was injured, man, and Embiid was on another MVP season, so you got to think about, we might not have every answer for every team player that the Miami Heat got. I'm telling y'all, it's just one game. I gotta think about this. Ain't a series. This is not a series. This is a one game, and if it's one game on the line, I think we have a chance. Now, I'm not saying Miami Heat is not capable of winning a elimination game. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying Miami Heat is better in series than the elimination game, because think about it. They lost to the Atlanta Hawks last year, and they lost to 5 against the Celtics. Come on. They lost 5 against the Celtics, and the Miami Heat had beat them in 7 games and went to the finals as an 8 seed. And also, I think the Miami Heat is better as a team, a playoff team, as playing again in a series than an elimination game. That's why I think the Sixers have a chance, because I think we have better chances of beating them in a winner or go home game. Well, it's not a winner or go home game, but it's like some type of winner or go home game. But I think we have a chance. That's why I'm just saying that. I'm not saying we can still beat the Heat in the series. I'm not saying that. I just think that for the game that we have to play tomorrow against them, I just think that we'll be able to beat them, just because it's one game. Joel Embiid, he's playing like crazy whenever he came back, and I just think that we're able to. Joel Embiid's gonna go off. Tyrese Maxey. He finally has that role. He's finally got that superstar role. Well, not superstar, but that all-star role. He got that all-star role, and I think he's going to take that to the next level. And plus, we're home too. We're home. We're playing in Philly. That's another chance why I'm saying that we can win in this one game. So I got the Philly winning in a close game. Then again, I can't be biased because that's my team. But anyway, we're gonna go to the next game. We got if the Hawks and the Chicago Bulls play. It's probably gonna be like the least amount of watch this game is, just because these two teams are always in the play-in. But if I had to choose one, I have to do the Hawks, because Trae Young and Dejounte Murray. Dejounte Murray is actually playing a great role for himself. He's actually doing his playing his role the best. He was taking over for Trae Young. I actually wish that he could win Clutch Player of the Year, because he did a lot of clutch plays and all that. And I remember he played against the Celtics. He literally, he scored a shot for 44 or something like that. But still, though, 44 shots. Yeah, but like I said, he carried that team on his back when Trae Young was out. So I think the Hawks got a chance against the Bulls, but I think whoever wins, if the 76ers or Heat, whoever loses that game, I think they're going to beat any team that's in the 9th and 10th seed. So if the Heat lose or the 76ers lose, we're going to beat the Bulls or the Hawks. So I don't really care, but I would like to play the Knicks better than play the Celtics. Just so we'll have a better chance to go to the 3rd round instead of having to play the Celtics in the first round. So it can. I really want to win this game now instead of losing and beating one of the two teams there. But that's it for the East. But we forgot to talk about the West.
The Kings of the Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is with the Kings, bro. The Kings. The problem I have with the Kings is that they can get a bucket anytime they want. You got the Kings. They can get a bucket anytime you want. They got De'Aaron Fox. You got Domantas Sabonis. You got Malik Monk. They got bucket getters on the team. My problem with the Kings, they don't play a lick of defense. They'll score like 140 points, but they'll give up just as much.
I'm gonna tell you the main reason why they're gonna lose. They don't got that all-star that best six man, Malik Monk. They don't got Malik Monk, man. That's the main
he's injured.
Yeah, they don't got Malik Monk, bro. That was a huge and they don't got that white
Kevin
boy
Huerter.
Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, Kevin Huerter.
Bro.
Yeah.
Those are two main pieces why they went to a game 7 last year. So like that's another reason why the Kings. I don't see the Kings winning at all. You know, Malik Monk is like one of the best.
And then they're going up against Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond. I'm not counting out the Warriors as long as you got Steph Curry. I'm not counting them out because that big three, they've been together for years. They got the playoff experience, the finals experience. They got everything they need to make another deep playoff run. The only thing I'll say about the Warriors is that who else is gonna step up besides those three? You know what I'm saying? Like Pokusevski, he's been
Jonathan Kuminga.
He's been playing good as well. Moses Moody, Pokusevski, Trace Jackson Davis, he's been playing great as well. The backup center, he's been playing good. So it's just for the Warriors. Who else is gonna step up for them? Because it just can't be Curry all the time. You know what I'm saying? And even Clay, he's been, he had a up and down season. Steve Kerr put him on the bench for some time, and I think Clay is gonna come through. I know the only reason you gotta give Clay some slack. He had the two worst injuries in basketball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta cut him some slack for the way he's performing. Now obviously his game wasn't. So what?
I was just gonna say, I would give him some slack, man. I mean, of course I'll give him some slack, but like my thing is with Clay, I just said just work on the shot selection. Your injury doesn't mess with your shot selection. Like, earlier in the season, bro, Klay Thompson, when he was a starter, he was just a shot chucker, bro. Like, he literally, I'm not saying he was bad. I know he'll make him eventually, but his shot selection reminded me of Jordan Poole on the Wizards. Like, Jordan Poole was just a shot chucker. So I know he was injured for like 2 years. I understand that, but that does have nothing to do with throwing up shots. He's throwing up shots, just throwing it up. Like, that's why he got moved to the bench. Now he has a better role now because since he's on the bench, he'll move around Chris Paul. Chris Paul, he's like one of the best point guards of all time. So, he's going to make sure Klay Thompson's open. He's going to find him whenever Klay Thompson runs around. He's going to find Chris Paul is going to find Klay Thompson, and Klay Thompson will get that open shot. And when he makes that great, and when Klay Thompson makes that great shot selection, then that's when he's going to go off. That's when he's going to get hot. But when Klay Thompson don't have someone to like move around for him or try to set screens and stuff, and when he gets the ball, he's going to shoot it. He's going to shoot it up. But if he actually has a smart point guard like Chris Paul, I'm not saying Stephen Curry's not, but Stephen Curry, he's Stephen Curry. He will do what he has to do to make sure the team wins. So now, since it's a team effort, we got to make sure each side, like defensively and offensively, they'll have to get past, of course, the Kings or so like that. And I think him moving to the bench will be a better option for him. That's why he gets hot all the time, because Chris Paul finds him whenever he needs to be open or get a shot up. So that's why I think that's why Klay Thompson is doing much better. But then, like I said, the reason no injury should be the injury doesn't count towards him for throwing up shots. That's not an excuse for throwing up shots if you were injured. Now, like I said, I would cut him some slack, but he shouldn't be throwing up shots. But like I said, he's doing good. He's doing really good now. So,
and then another thing too, before he got injured in the finals of 2019, one thing he used to do a lot, he used to cut to the basket a lot. He was a great off-ball cutter. and Curry will find him. He doesn't really do that anymore ever since he got injured. So you could really see that his game has changed a lot. Like you said, he does tend to have to shot chuck a lot, and like you said, I think him being the sixth man, I think that's a good fit for him too, because the guard on the Warriors, their rookie that they just drafted, Pokusevski, he's a good complement to Steph Curry in the backcourt. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's a great defender. His defense is really underrated. He has great passing skills. So I think him in the starting lineup it's obviously a change for Steph Curry because he's used to having Clay, but I think for the sake of the team, Clay as a sixth man, I think this is a better role for him too as well. But I do have the Warriors beating the Kings. I don't think the Kings can really beat the Warriors, especially since two of their main, one person for their starter is out, and then their sixth man Malik Monk, he's out too. So that really hurts the Kings, especially when you're going up against Golden State. You need all the help you can get. So yeah, I have the Warriors getting that 7th seed, and because the Denver is the 2nd seed, right? Yeah, Denver's the 2nd seed. So I have them advancing in the play-in, or what's it called? Because if the Warriors win, they get a playoff spot, right? They got good. Yeah. I got respect. Yeah, so I have them. I have them.
Or whoever loses the 7th and 8th seed, the Warriors got to play that team.
Yeah,
and whoever wins that team go against the OKC Thunder.
Yeah, they go against the Thunder. Yeah. So I have them advancing in the play-in and playing the loser from the Lakers and the Pelicans game. But yeah.
But let's talk about the playoffs. Man. Let's talk about the
Clippers and Mavs. Who you got, man?
All right.
Clippers and Mavs.
So we're going off the top first. The best one first. All right. So first of all, this is definitely gonna be one of my favorite series. I was always going back and forth with my friends about this. Like, this could be like one of the best series in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. But it could go both ways. And I tell everybody this who is ready for this series. This all depends on Kawhi Leonard, and that's my opinion. Kawhi Leonard, that's a great playoff performer. We all know what Kawhi Leonard did last year against the Suns in Game 1, and then when he got injured, we all know what happened next. I think Kawhi Leonard is the main piece of the Clippers in the playoffs. It's not James Harden. Not Paul George, not Westbrook. Y'all can have all those MVPs, all those super Hall of Famers, but Kawhi Leonard is the only person is the main game changer. Now, you can say Paul George too. But you got to think about Kawhi Leonard was the reason why they got to the Eastern Conference Finals when in 2021. Yeah, Paul George went against the Suns by himself, but the whole reason why they went all the way up there is because of Kawhi Leonard, and he got injured in the second round. A bunch of reasons why they do good in the playoffs is because of Kawhi Leonard. So I think I have the Clippers winning only, and I mean only, if Kawhi Leonard is healthy. I think that, but then again, I have another reason why I think the Clippers might win is because I think this is the most pressure James Harden had ever been in his career. I just think he's the most pressured person in this whole playoffs. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because you're playing with another with more Hall of Famers, and you're playing with another MVP. Well, Westbrook is a 6-man, but still though, James Harden, you have to show up. You haven't showed up since the 2018 Houston Rockets. Now, I'm not trying to talk down James Harden because he's one of my favorite players. And then people has to understand he's not that Houston Rockets role. He's not in that Rockets role no more. He's not. You don't have to be in that role no more. But he has to be able to help. He has to be able to help. Now, he's not going to get a lot of backlash if he doesn't show up, because he has people. He have Hall of Famers to back him up. Last year, you had Tyrese Maxey, but Joel Embiid was down like 3 games against the Celtics. So it was all up on James Harden. So James Harden had a bunch of pressure back then. But James Harden, now you have people backing you up. So if you don't show up, you have 3 other Hall of Famers to back you up. But if y'all still lose, I think if James Harden still loses and still has the help that he wants to get a ring, I think people just gonna just discredit him for the rest of his career, man. And I said the same thing with Kevin. You said the same thing for Kevin Durant. You know, Kevin Durant's like in the same position. You know, he has Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. But you know, if you went to your third team with superstars, well, yeah, 13 with extra superstars, and you still can't win a ring, then I think Kevin Durant's going to get a lot of discredit too. But like I was saying, yeah, I'll say the Clippers will win as long as Kawhi let her play. And you could say the same, and I will like to say the Mavs too, because the Mavs, of course, you got Luka and Kyrie, of course. But I just think the experience Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and all the other players have, I think the Clippers might have the advantage, but only for one reason. If Kawhi Leonard's not healthy, I'm going Mavs. But right now it's saying Kawhi Leonard's going to be healthy, so I got Clippers in 6. I got the Los Angeles Clippers in 6.
Okay. So for me, this series can go either way. Now, for the Mavericks, I think this is Luka's best chance. Other than 2022, this is his best chance to make a playoff run. Because you got to think about it. Obviously, you got Kyrie, but during the trade deadline, the Mavericks made two great moves. The first one was the trade for PJ Washington, and the second one was the trade for Daniel Gafford. Because I really love the Daniel Gafford trade, because think about it, Luka has never ever played with like an actual big, like a big that can play defense, can rim run, rebound. He never had a center like that. And I compare that trade to like the trade when the Mavs traded for Tyson Chandler back then when they won the 2011 finals, because Dirk Nowitzki, he had never played with an actual center like Tyson Chandler, you know what I'm saying, to take some of the defensive struggles off his hands. You know, Dirk Nowitzki, he wasn't a great defender. And Luka now he has someone who can actually create their own offense, because he's such a lot. He's not like a great liability on offense, but he's good enough so like where off the pick and roll they gotta watch Daniel Gafford roll to the basket, because you know that's an easy 2 points, that's an easy dunk for him. So I think for the Mavericks, for Luka, this is his best chance to make a playoff run. And as far as PJ Washington, that's another scorer that Luka has on his team now. Obviously you got him and Kyrie, but that takes more of the offensive pressure off of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, because you know PJ Washington, he can go off for 30 points anytime. You know what I'm saying? So I think for the Mavericks, this is their best chance of making a playoff push. And for the Clippers, I mean, they're obviously the more experienced team. Besides Kyrie on the Mavericks, everyone else on that team, you know, they've been to the finals except for Paul George. But they got 3 players on the team who already have finals experience, so they have their experience. It's just a question with the Clippers: can they put it all together? Can they actually make a push to the NBA Finals? So I'm gonna say the Clippers, just because they have more experience and they're more established. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Mavericks take this series, because their team is so well rounded. Because you know the Mavericks, they used to be one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA, but now they have I think they have like a top 10 defense this year, and yeah, that's solely because of Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, the rookie they drafted.
That rookie, man, that rookie stuff.
So I think this series can really go either way. And you know, it's starting to become a playoff rival as well, going back all the way to 2020, the last time 2020 and 2021. 2021, yeah. So I'm really excited for this series, but I think I'm gonna say Clippers. I think this game could go to 7, so I'm gonna say Clippers in 7.
Okay. All right. I ain't a bad take. Not
I'm gonna say Clippers in 7.
Not
Now,
bad, not bad, not bad.
for the Timberwolves and the Suns, this is what I have to say about the Suns. They have no chemistry at all. If you watch Phoenix this year, they have no chemistry at all, and that's because they don't have an actual point guard. Because I think they tried to put Devin Booker at the one, and it's obviously they've had some struggles. They don't have an actual point guard that can run the offense, get the players in the right spots, set them up for the best way to score. They don't have a competent point guard. So I think that's what's really is gonna hold them back. They don't have a point guard like the Timberwolves have Mike Conley, for example. He's an established point guard, all-star. He could run the offense, make sure every player's in the right spot, set them up for an easy basket, and that's why I have Minnesota taking this series. Now I know Phoenix. You got the big three. You got Devin Booker, you got Bradley Beal, you got Kevin Durant, etc. But I just think for Minnesota, I think they have the more established team than Phoenix.
My bad. I'm back. Yeah, but I feel you too. I think the Timberwolves has it in the bag. I think the Timberwolves is I think it's just that it's their time. I just think their time has actually had finally come to win the playoff series. They had their chance back when with John Morant and the Grizzlies. That didn't work out, and they only won a game against the Nuggets last year. So I think it's their time to shine. I think it's a series to actually win. And another reason, like you just said, the Suns, I don't see them. I really don't. I really gave up on the Suns, man. They lose too many games that they should win.
They blow too many four-quarter leads. Yeah.
And I was just going to say, I swear on everything, I was just going to say that they blow so many four-quarter leads, and it's not there. When you try, that's the weirdest trio that you can combine. You got Devin Booker that needs the ball. You have Kevin Durant that needs the ball, and you have Bradley Beal, another James Harden type of player, and you have all of them on the starting lineup. You have all of them on the starting lineup, and you expect to go far? No, I don't see them going far at all.
I compare the Suns team, the Suns trio specifically, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. I compare them to the 08 Celtics when Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett teamed up with Paul Pierce. The difference between them and this team, the Celtics had an actual point guard, a true point guard with Rajon Rondo. They had someone who can run the offense and set up the offense for him. Now, obviously, Rondo never really led them to an elite offense because he wasn't really an offensive-minded point guard, but he can get the ball in any place imaginable. You know what I'm saying? You blink once, and then boom, the ball's right in your face. So that's really what I compare this Suns trio to. The difference between them and the 08 Celtics, they had a competent point guard who can run the offense and set up the offense. The Phoenix Suns don't have that. So that's why I don't really think that Phoenix can take this series against Minnesota, especially since Minnesota is the number one defensive team in the NBA because of the three-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, who might win his fourth one this season. So yeah, that's why I have the Timberwolves beating the Suns in 6 games.
Yeah, I got Timberwolves in 7 because I think I think home advantage will be a main thing in this series. The Suns is actually pretty good at home, but then again they lose a lot of fourth quarter leads. But I still got the Timberwolves winning this in 7 just because I think home court advantage will be a main factor in this series. But yeah, I got Timberwolves in 7, and I don't see the Suns. It's just they have too many ball hoggers, and Devin Booker can't be having the ball all the time. And, Kevin Durant, he needs the ball all the time. And then you have Bradley Beal, he needs the ball all the time. And I think the main reason why they went past the first round so easily last year, because you still have Chris Paul. Chris Paul was the main reason why you say Rajon Rondo was compared to the '08 Celtics. Chris Paul was kind of like Rajon Rondo, of course. So that's the reason why they beat the Clippers. And they're the only team last year that took the Nuggets to 6 games, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're the only team last year. Yeah, they're the only team last year to take the Nuggets to 6 games. So I just think that this time they don't have a real point guard, of course. Bradley Beal is not a point guard. He's like another shooting guard that has to play point guard. And we all know Devin Booker is not a point guard. He's always been a shooting guard. That's why Chris Paul was always on his side, etc. So yeah, they don't have a point guard, and it's not going to work out. And I just think the pressure on Kevin Durant this year is going to be really bad for him. It's going to be really bad for him. But I'm really, really disappointed at how the Suns turned out. It really is. Remember when there was like a 64-win team, 2022?
Yeah, 2022.
Man,
yeah.
That's so crazy. I feel like yesterday when it was a 64-win team, because that team was actually there. You know, they had the bench players, they had the role players, they had Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne. They had the role players, man, and they just let them all go for one powerful player.
That's because they let go of all of them because they got outplayed. They basically got outplayed by Luka. Luka just outplayed the whole team. Yeah, true. And Jalen Brunson too.
Yeah, Brunson went off. Off that game. Bro, I remember that game like it was yesterday. That man went off.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about the I want to talk about this series. Yeah, no, I want to talk about this series for sure. I want to, because people be saying that it's overrated, but I'm actually excited for this one. I think it's the most underrated series that we have. I have the Cavs and the Orlando Magic. I think that's going to be like the most physical series that we ever watched in a long time. You know, the Orlando Magic, boy, those people are tough. Like I think Orlando Magic, I don't know what they're ranking in defense, but when you have Paolo Banchero, the second-year sophomore, that man has one of the best defensive mindsets I ever saw in my life. And I just think the Cavs is mostly like an offensive team. That's why they've been losing like most of the games at the end of the season. And I think the Orlando Magic defense is going to put a stop to that. And I actually I'm going to say this. I think the Magic could win in like 6 games, you know. I just think like they're way too physical for the Cavs, you know. And I think if the Cavs lose this series, I think Donovan Mitchell's going to go. I think Donovan Mitchell's going to go, man, you know. I don't think it's going to work out for him.
I'm going to say this for the Cavs. The way the Cavs need to play, this is their bigs, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. They need to rebound the basketball. That's my thing with the Cavs. Because last season in the playoffs against the Knicks, they lost because of their rebounding. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley got outplayed by Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. I mean, they were eating on the glass. So that's my thing with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and their bigs need to rebound the basketball. Now, scoring wise, I don't have a problem with Cleveland's offense. You know, their offense is going to be there. You know, you got Donovan Mitchell, you got Darius Garland, you got Caris LeVert, you got Max Strus, you got Evan Mobley, you got offensive players. It's really it's the rebounding, man. They need to rebound. They need to rebound the basketball. That's why they lost last year in the first round, because of their rebounding. That's the main reason why they lost. So now for the Magic, you obviously got Paulo Banchero, you got Franz Wagner, you got Jalen Suggs. Imagine they're a young team.
Cole Anthony,
6-man. You got Markelle Fultz. They have a young team. They have a really young team. And I just think now the Magic, they can win this series. My thing is they're just a really young team. They're a very young team, and so I think that's gonna play a big part in that series, because you know the Cavs, they got an established team. You know, Donovan Mitchell, he's been in multiple playoff series. He's had some big games in the playoffs. So obviously, you know, the defense is gonna solely focus on him and Darius Garland. So I think that's gonna lead to more opportunities for Evan Mobley, their third-year player. And this is another series that can go either way. But at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna take the safe pick and go with the more experienced team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, because mainly because they have more playoff experience than the Orlando Magic. The last time the Magic made it to the playoffs, I think it was what 2019 when they still had Aaron Gordon,
No,
Nikola Vucevic on the
I thought it was
team.
I thought it was the bubble. Isn't the bubble? They ain't made the playoffs in the
Oh
bubble.
yeah, they did go to the playoffs in the yeah they did. Yeah, they lost to the Bucks. Yeah,
The
they lost to
Bucks. Yeah, they got
yeah
swept.
yeah
I think.
yeah.
I think they got
Yeah, they
swept.
got swept. Yeah, so but they basically have no one else on that team from 2020. No one from that playoff team is currently on this current Orlando Magic team right now. Everyone is either like a second, third year. I mean, you got Joe Ingles, who's been in the league for a while, but other than him, I mean, everyone else on their team is about 25, 26 or younger. So that's why
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Cavaliers for this series. I have them winning. I
Yeah.
have them winning in 7. I think this series can go to 7 games, kind of like the Kings and the Warriors series last year. But yeah,
I
I have the
respect
Cavs
that.
winning in 7. And now
Oh,
last playoff series we got the Bucks and the Pacers. Now they've had a long season, firing their coach mid season, bringing in Doc Rivers, and basically the team it didn't look the same ever since they fired Adrian Griffin. Now I know some players have come out and said they didn't like Adrian Griffin, but he was winning games, man. So you can't argue when they were like what, second in the East, second in the East when he got fired, and now they dropped to the third seed. They didn't even get 50 wins. They got 49 wins, and
that's
now
crazy, right? They
yeah,
couldn't even hit 50 wins,
and
bro. That's
now
crazy.
they gotta go up against a team that beat them. How many times they beat them this season? Like three or four times this season.
I
In the
think
NFL?
yeah.
They swept them,
If I'm
didn't
not
they?
mistaken, they swear. I think well, I think it's 3-1. I
Yeah, I
think it's
think it's
three and
three.
one.
Yeah,
I
they
think it's
beat
three and
them
one.
3 times this season. The Indiana
But you know, they
Pacers.
play that. The main reason the reason why I think the Pacers have a bigger chance, just because they beat them in the in-season tournament, and plus
Hmm.
Giannis is not.
Yeah,
We
yeah. I
don't know
don't.
if
Yeah, we
Giannis
don't
is
know if
coming back.
Giannis is gonna come
I don't know
back
if Giannis is
come
coming
back in
back.
time for the
But
playoffs.
but then again, it could still go both ways. This is Damian Lillard's like one of his last chances to. He's like in the best situation he's ever been in. Now, of course, you don't got Giannis, but you have a better squad when you at the Blazers. You have a chance to make this team yours again. Like make another team yours and get it far. Like you have the playoff spot. You have the role players. All you have to do is show up. Because I'm not gonna lie, Damian Lillard isn't playing like Damian Lillard in the Blazers, which is not a bad thing because of course you got Giannis. Now, of course you got Giannis, but now Giannis is gone, so people are really needing that Damian Lillard, that like 30 points per game Lillard. We need that Lillard back. This is like one of his biggest pressure games that he's in. Series that he's in. Like you're going against the Pacers, you have Tyrese Halliburton doing your own signature move on you, man. Like you can't take that disrespect. So I think Damian Lillard has to show up. He has to show up, and that's the reason why I have the Bucks in 7. Just because I think this is Damian Lillard's like final last straw. Like this is the best situation he's ever been. Like he's in the playoffs. Like he's of course he's not the second seed no more, but you win the third seed. You're in the series now. Win 4 games, go to the next series. That's all you got to do. You have the role players. You have the backups. You just have to show up. And you just got to rely and hope Giannis can come back in 3 to 4 games. If you can just win at least 2 games, the series can go to at least 6 games. Of course, the series can go at least to 6 games. And Giannis will definitely come back in at least 6 games. So you have to show up, and you have everything. You have everything you need around you. You just have to be the person to show up. We need that Portland Trailblazers Lillard back. Like we all know you're a regular season 30-point game performer. Now we need to see you in the playoffs again, because we didn't really see Damian Lillard go off in the playoffs since like 2019 when he went to the Western Conference Finals. Like and plus he played in the bubble too. But like I said, he didn't have nothing around him when he went against the Lakers in the bubble. He had no role players, he had no bench, he had nobody around him. But now he actually has people around him. Still got Bobby Portis, yeah, you still have people around you. So I think this is his best chances to win. And of course, I don't think him going to the finals without Giannis. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is his chance to prove himself. And if he can win at least like 3 games and just pray and hope Giannis can come back in like game 5 or 6, I'm telling you, they have a chance to go to the championship. So I got Bucks. I got Bucks in 7, man. I think. Now, of course, I think, and I just think the Pacers is just a young team. Tyrese Halliburton, the second after the All-Star break, he wasn't playing like his the in-season tournament itself. So I really am kind of skeptical about that. But you still got Pascal Siakam. But of course, like I said, you still got the Damian Lillard. I think it all depends if he shows up or not. And that's the reason why I had the Bucks in 7. Like I said, they can go both ways, but my pick is the Bucks in 7 because I think Damian Lillard is going to take this to the heart, and I think they're going to win enough games until Giannis comes back to help them out win the series. So that's what I think.
Now, the thing with the Bucks is that my thing is they have to make those adjustments in the playoffs. They have to make adjustments. You seen what was working, what wasn't working. You have to make those in-game adjustments, and that's all a part of coaching. And since they fired their head coach Adrian Griffin and brought in Doc Rivers, that's the thing with Doc Rivers. He doesn't make those in-game adjustments. He expects the players to make those in-game adjustments. But that's a coaching job, but that's your job to make those adjustments. Just like back in Boston, a lot of the players were saying like Doc Rivers didn't make those in-game adjustments. Like when the other team would go on a run, he wouldn't call a timeout. He would just expect the players to make some adjustments, play harder. You know what I'm saying? He didn't like call a timeout and stop the game, stop them from getting all that momentum. He would just let them run up the score and wouldn't make any adjustments. He would just sit there and just watch the game like he was a fan. You know what I'm saying? So I just think for the Bucks, obviously you got Damian Lillard, Giannis is out, and you still got Chris Middleton too as well, who steps up. He steps up in the playoffs.
I forgot to mention him.
Specifically in 2021, obviously he was playing great in the 2021 finals run. But since then, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries. He's getting up there in age, and I think the X factor for the Bucks going into the series is Bobby Portis. Their 6th man. He's gonna be the X factor for this series. He's gonna be the one to decide whether the Bucks advance or not. Because obviously, Dame is gonna be Dame. You got Chris Middleton, you got Jay Crowder, you got Brook Lopez, one of the best bigs in the league, and you got Malik Beasley come out the bench shooting threes. But I think the X factor for this series in particular is Bobby Portis. He's gonna be the X factor for the Bucks going into this series. And I also have the Bucks winning in 7 games just because they have the experience. They're the more experienced team. They've been in deep playoff runs before. They've been to the finals. So I have them winning this series in 7. I think Indiana's a good team. I know they beat them 3 times this season. I understand that. I just think they're too young. They're too young. They're inexperienced. And I think the only one who's really been far in the playoffs is Miles Turner. I mean, that's really it. Obviously, Obi Toppin, he's been to the playoffs too, and Aaron Neesmith. But I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is Tyrese Halliburton's first. It's his first time being in the playoffs, isn't it? I think this is his first time being in the playoffs. It's his first playoff series. So I just think I have the more experienced Bucks. I have them winning in 7 games.
Respect.
Yeah, I have them winning in 7 games. But I'm excited for this year's playoffs, man. I'm really, really excited, man. I think this is gonna be
be
one of the best postseasons in a really long time. It's gonna be way better than last year. I know that for sure. It's gonna be way better.
Yeah, facts. Oh God.
It's gonna be way better.
This is kind of off topic. I just want to talk about it real quick. What would you rank the last? What's the last since the bubble? What would you rank the playoffs? I'll go first real quick. So I do the best. I'll do the best to last. So, and this could be your opinion, because my opinion, I think the best playoffs for me, I think the most interesting was 2022. I just say 2022 because I love the Warriors run, and I just love I really just love the Warriors and how the Grizzlies was actually a great team, and they took the championship Warriors to 6 games. So I liked it. I liked it the run. I liked the Boston Celtics run because in that season the Boston Celtics wasn't good in the first half of the season, but they came back and went to the second seed on that side of the season, on the second half of the season. So I think 2022 I think in my opinion was the best playoffs in the last 5 years. Part two, I have to of course say the bubble. I'll say the bubble because the amount of drama and the amount of like storylines, and the amount of just all the conspiracy, the theories was going around that bubble, like Jimmy Butler selling coffee, them being sick, them having to stay in the hotels. It's like it was like a jail cell for them, man. And I just think like I don't like when people disrespect. I don't care for LeBron like that, but I don't like when people discredit the bubble because I think it's like one of the most accomplishments, the most accomplished championships in a long time. And I just think like the playoff series was great, man. You know, you see everyone. The main thing was just like everyone going off. You had Jamal Murray going off. You had Donovan Mitchell going off. That duel. You had so many players that were just going off out of nowhere. So I think the 2020 bubble was my second favorite series of all 5. 3, I guess I have to say it depends on the 2023 or 2021 because I like 2021 for one reason. I love the Hawks run. The Hawks run, because I remember just watching the Hawks and how everybody was doubting them. They would say they were going to beat the Knicks, and just seeing them like go off and going all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals against the championship Bucks was completely crazy. So, you know, I kind of like 2021, but, you know, of course I had to put 2023 over it because of the Lakers' Western Conference run and like one of the best playoff series in this decade, the Kings and the Warriors. That has to be one of the best series I ever saw in my life, and you know I have to just put that because of that, and of course the Heat Miami run. You know, the Heat Miami run was like one of the best runs we ever seen. We like the second time the 8th seed went to the finals, of course, and 2023 had to be third, and then 2021 would have to be last. That's because don't really remember a lot of 2021 like that. I remember I wasn't really caring for basketball like that, especially when it was like COVID or so like that. So I wasn't really watching it. I only watched it like the second round against like the Sixers and the Hawks. But other than that, I really didn't pay attention to the 2021 playoffs until we got to the finals and the conference finals. And it wasn't really a lot of Game 7 except the Brooklyn and Bucks. Of course, that's the only reason why everyone loves the 21 playoffs. But other than that, it wasn't really Game 7 like that, so I really can't say a lot of good things about that playoffs. But hopefully, 2024 will beat all of them. So, what is yours?
First, I have 2022 as well, and I have 2022 first because no one expected the Warriors to go to the finals that season. No one expected them. Yeah. No one expected them to go to the finals. Everyone basically counted them out. And Warriors, they went all the way to the finals. They got down. They were down were they down? I think they were down
2 in the finals. Yeah, 2-1.
They were down 2-1 in the finals. They were down 2-1. They came back, won the series, and Curry, Clay, Draymond, they all got their 4th ring. And for me personally, I think that's their best ring. Out of all 4 of them, I think that's their best championship right there. Just because everyone was counting them out. They were all getting older, up in age. And Klay Thompson, he had came back that season and got a ring out of it. And so
that's crazy, right?
I think that that's the best playoff year 2022. Now, for the second one, I have the bubble year 2020. I have that at 2, and for one reason is because I really love the Miami run. Because first of all, no one expected them to beat the Bucks in the second round. No one expected them to beat the Bucks because they had already lost the first 3 games. They were down 3-0. Yeah. I know Giannis had an injury and all that, but they were already down in the series, and that was Giannis's MVP year. He won MVP. I think he set the record for the highest PER in the season, and everyone expected them to go to the finals that year to play against LeBron, old school versus new school. But the Heat beat them in 5 games. They beat them in 5 games. So I have the 2020 season, the bubble season at number 2, and obviously I love the Lakers run. I love the Lakers run to the finals. Everyone expected them to win the finals. Anyway, they had one.
They was already good.
Yeah, they had one of the most complete teams in the NBA, and I was surprised that he even took 2 games. They took that series of 6 games.
Yeah,
they took 2 games from that series. But yeah, I have the bubble at my number 2. Now number 3, I'm gonna go with 2023 at number 3, because now I know a lot of people didn't like the finals, the Heat versus Nuggets, but I love that finals in my opinion. The Nuggets,
it was bad.
I love that team, because for the Nuggets, obviously they every series for them was either in 5 or 6 games. Like you said, the Phoenix Suns, they were the only team to take the Nuggets to 6 games, but that team was just it was so dominant from top to bottom, from Nikola Jokic all the way to the last person on the bench. And the X factor for that team was Bruce Brown. He was bringing all the energy, making all the hustle plays, providing the 3-point shooting, the defense, guarding their opposing team's best player. And on the other side, you got Miami, who basically everybody counted out. No one even thought they would make the play.
When they lost against the Hawks, he was like,
they lost against the Hawks. Everyone thought they were done, but they made it all the way to the finals just with their grit and their great defense. Because obviously you got Jimmy Butler, you obviously got Jimmy, you got playoff Jimmy, but an unsung hero for the Miami Heat, and particularly that Boston series, Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin stepped up and he had a great series against the Boston Celtics. And even though they almost lost because the Celtics won 3 straight games, they went into Boston and basically blew them out. Didn't even make it a game. The Celtics didn't even make it a game. So that's why I have the 2023 season at my number 3. And number 4, excuse me, I have the 2021 season. Basically because now for the Phoenix Suns, I'm not going to discredit their finals run. They made it to the finals. They took 2 games. They were up 2-0. Obviously, they lost 4 straight. They lost in 6. But my thing with Phoenix is that every team they beat, either their main star or their secondary star, they were injured. That's my thing with Phoenix.
Facts.
That's my thing with Phoenix, because for the Lakers, I think AD was injured that series, wasn't he? He was in AD. Was it AD?
AD was injured.
I think it was AD.
No, I think it was AD.
Yeah, AD was injured.
Yeah, AD
against the Lakers in the first round. The second round, Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. They were both out. It was basically Jokic versus Jokic versus the Suns. Yeah,
but the third round, I talked about earlier, no Kawhi.
No Kawhi. Yeah, no Kawhi. So obviously you still got PG, but you're missing your best player on the team. So obviously and even then they took that series to 6 games. They almost took it to 7.
That is true.
They almost took number 7. They almost did. But the Phoenix Suns, they basically beat injured teams. So, and I always wonder, would they still make it to the finals if every team they played against to get to the finals, if they were healthy? So that's why I have 2021 at number 4. And I'm not gonna discredit their run. You're still going up against great teams, but the teams they beat, they were injured. And then even then they were up 2-0 against the Bucks. They were up 2-0.
That is true.
They had all the momentum in the world, but after those first 2 games, that team just collapsed, especially Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Now, one thing with Chris Paul, you never see him really turn the ball over at that. But after the first 2 games, he started turning the ball over like crazy, him and Devin Booker. So that's really what lost him that series, was the turnovers. And then the Bucks, the Bucks before they added PJ Tucker, Jrue Holiday, Bobby Portis, the Bucks were considered as a soft team. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They were considered as a soft team because Eric Bledsoe, he usually did his disappearing act in the playoffs, and then in 2020 when Giannis got injured, no one else basically stepped up. Chris Middleton had a poor series, you know what I'm saying, and no one else for that team really stepped up. But luckily they are able to bounce back. They got better, they got more better players with PJ Tucker, Jrue Holiday, Bobby Portis, etc., and they were able to come back and win the finals. But yeah, I have that. I have that year at 4. My number 4. So basically the same list as you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I respect that.
I want to play a game real quick. So we're gonna do. I want to know your top 5 ringless players of all time. And here's the criteria: you can use past and present players as long as they played at least 10 years in the NBA. Your top 5 ringless players of all time.
Damn. I guess. Well, since I'm a James Harden fan, of course I'm gonna say James Harden. Of course I gotta say Allen Iverson. Of course, Of course, you gotta say Karl Malone. Current players. I'd say Russell Westbrook. I say he deserves a ring. And this ain't in order either. I'm just saying, my opinion is my opinion. And I said Karl Malone already, right?
Yeah.
I said Karl Malone, and I said AI, of course. Charles Barkley.
Bruh, you got the same list as me. That's crazy.
Charles Barkley. Wait, that was the exact same list?
That was my exact same list. I have Russ,
No way.
AI, Barkley, Malone, and Harden. Now I thought about replacing AI for John Stockton, and I thought about replacing Barkley for Patrick Ewing, but I was like, nah, because everyone on my list, they're all MVPs. They're all MVPs.
That's what I said. That was the main reason why
they're all top 75,
MVPs.
and they're all Hall of
MVPs.
They're all Hall of Famers, or either gonna be in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's why.
Exactly.
All
MVPs.
It was tough, but that's my 5: Russ, AI, Barkley, Malone, and Harden. That's my top 5.
Yeah, I picked it. Yeah, that's the only reason why I picked them. They're MVPs, and they've been in the league more than 10 years. And I just think it was unfair to play in that Jordan era because it was just so unfair. You couldn't stop Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon had his best chance. Yeah, he said when Jordan left, 93, 94, it was his only chance to win those championships. He was like, this is his only chance. So he said he wasn't going to play. When Jordan left, he got those rings quick. Because there's an argument. People have this argument for some reason. But they said if Jordan never retired, they said Hakeem Olajuwon would have got those rings. What do you think? Do you think Hakeem Olajuwon would have still got those rings if Jordan wasn't retired? They say Jordan was the reason why Hakeem got those rings. What do you think? What is your opinion on that?
My thing is, if Jordan never retired, I don't think he wouldn't have won he wouldn't have won 8 straight, because you gotta think about it. They had already lost Horace Grant. When Jordan was gone, they lost Horace Grant to Orlando, who was basically like their defensive anchor, their rebounder, their paint presence. And when they lost him, I think that it was basically just Will Perdue, who was their backup center. They put him in the starting lineup. And he wasn't Horace Grant. Horace Grant was a great rim protector, great defensive player, all-star player. And once they lost him, and obviously Michael Jordan, their defense has struggled a little bit. And it wasn't until they got Dennis Rodman where their paint protection started getting good again. You know what I'm saying? So I think if Jordan hadn't retired, I don't think he would have won. He wouldn't have won 8 straight. I'm not saying he would have lost both, but I think Houston would have broke their streak, their winning streak.
I think so too.
Because they didn't have Dennis Rodman at the time. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get Dennis Rodman until basically Jordan came back. You know what I'm saying? So,
But you gotta think about it. They didn't have Dennis Rodman when they had those 3 first rings, though. You gotta think
but
about
they
that.
had Horace Grant. They had Horace Grant, who was their basically. He wasn't the same. He was their power forward. He was their paint presence. He was their rim protector. He was a great rim protector for that team. And once they lost him, they basically. I'm not gonna say they lost their identity, but they lost their best defender at the rim. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Dennis Rodman brought to the team. He brought all the energy, all the hustle, and obviously, he's a great defensive player. He's a great rebounder, one of the best rebounders of all time, and arguably the best rebounder of all time. And it wasn't until they got him where the Bulls started. They were back on top as a defensive team. Now, obviously, you got Scottie Pippen. He's a great defender as well. He's a great perimeter threat, but he wasn't as good as a rim protector as Horace Grant was and as Dennis Rodman was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think Jordan he would. I'm not saying he would have lost those both 2 years, but I don't think he would have won 8 straight.
That's crazy. 8 straight is crazy.
Yes, I think someone would have beat him eventually. He would have beat him eventually. Yeah. Well, I want to play another game real quick. I'm gonna name six NBA players, and you tell me who's coming off the bench. You tell me who's coming off the bench. So we got Paul Pierce, Baron Davis, Gilbert Arenas, Anthony Davis, Chris Bosh, and Vince Carter. Who comes off the bench?
Say those 6 names one more time.
Paul Pierce, Baron Davis, Gilbert Arenas, Anthony Davis, Chris Bosh, and Vince Carter. Who comes off the bench?
It could go both ways. I'll low key. What would you say?
I would say Gilbert Arenas, because think about it. Baron Davis, he's a way better playmaker than Gilbert Arenas, and obviously Gilbert Arenas, he's a great scorer, especially in his Wizards days. But everyone else who I just mentioned, they can get their own bucket. You know what I'm saying? They can create offense for themselves. Gilbert Arenas, he's instant offense. You know what I'm saying? But his playmaking skills, they weren't as good as Baron Davis's playmaking skills. So that's why I have him coming off the bench. I think he would be.
I think that's the same reason. Yeah, I think he'll be a great 6-man too. It was either that or maybe T. But then again, like, they're all good scorers, and I guess and then you have Anthony Davis and Chris Bosh. But I think I'll say him too. Just because you have other playmakers on the court, and I just think, oh shoot, hold on, crap. What the frick? Give me 1 second. Hold on. My bad. Yeah, but like I said, Gilbert Arenas, yeah, man, because I just think they have way too many good playmakers in the floor. Even Chris Bosh and Anthony Davis, they're good playmakers too. And, I just think, and plus you still have T-Mac, and you still have the scorers like Paul Pierce, T-Mac, etc.
No, Vince Carter. Vince Carter. I didn't say T. I said Vince Carter. Vince Carter.
Oh shoot! I'm tripping. Dang, Vince Carter. Yeah. Dang, I was thinking about T-Mac this whole time. Oh shoot!
Vince Carter.
I'll still say Gilbert Arenas. I'll still say Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah.
But my mind did have to think a little bit though. But still Gilbert Arenas though, for real. Still Gilbert Arenas, for real. Okay, let me try one. Hold on. I want to try one. All right. So who's going to the bench? We have Shaq, Jordan, KD, Curry, Kobe, and of course LeBron. I think everybody had this question a bunch of times.
Kobe.
You said what?
Kobe. It's simple. Kobe. Good thing about it, him and MJ are basically the same player. Him and MJ are basically the same player. You don't need. Everyone compares, but I have Kobe coming to the bench. Cause think about it, Braun. You got Curry and Braun, who both have great basketball IQs. They can both run the offense. You got Shaq in the paint, controlling the paint. He doesn't even need to score. His presence in the paint is enough. You got KD who could just get his bucket anytime he wants, and obviously you got MJ, one of the best two-way guards of all time, and you got Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, and obviously you got Braun. Braun is all around player. Can literally do everything. Guard 1 through 5. So yeah, I have Kobe. Kobe's got to come off the bench. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I know that's gonna hurt a lot of Kobe's gonna hurt a lot of Kobe fans, but I have
it will
bench.
because the debate is people just say just get out. I think people just say get out KD just because like what's wrong with having two Jordans? You know, two Jordans twice the championship. You know, what I mean they say there's no problem having two Jordans on the same team. So I think that's like the main debate when people say those debates because like. What's wrong with having two Kobe's or two Jordans? You know, twice the playmaker, twice the defense, twice the offense, twice the shot making, etc. So it can go both ways when you say KD or Kobe. But like I said, it's like a debate. You know, everybody has their own opinions. Like I said, I just think that if you have Kobe and Jordan on the same team with LeBron and Curry, I mean, like, I don't see the problem with that. You know, I mean, of course, they're not the size of a small forward, of course. But, you know, think about it. They both got great defense, you know. You know, they both two-way players, you know. I mean, Kevin Durant is not really a two-way player, just an offensive player, you know. And he was just trying to ask, like, what's the problem of having a two-way players that can score the ball and that can play great defense? And they can both win, and they can both carry teams by themselves. So, I might have to leave Kobe in and put KD to the bench because, yeah, I know I'm undersized, of course, but you know, I gotta have Kobe in my lineup with Jordan. You know, I mean, like I said, they're the same, but that they can do two. They play both sides of the ball much better than Kevin Durant. But then again, it can go both ways. I like Kevin Durant, of course. I like that he can get a shot. Then, like, twice the defense, twice the offense. That's true. But like I said, everyone has their own opinions, though. You know, if y'all want to leave a comment down below, y'all let us know.
Yeah, but all right. I'm gonna before we close out, Blake Griffin, he is retired from the NBA after I think. The last time he played was 2022. Yeah, so he played 13 seasons in the NBA. I want to ask you this. Do you think Blake Griffin is a Hall of Famer?
No.
No?
Mm.
Well, let me ask,
No.
do you think Blake Griffin is the first ballot Hall of Famer?
No.
Do you think you don't think he'll get into the Hall of Fame eventually?
No. I'm being completely honest, bro.
This is his resume.
I don't.
This is his resume right here. Let me read you his resume. 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA second team, 2-time All-NBA third team, NBA Rookie of the Year, NBA Dunk Contest champ, and the National College Player of the Year. That's his resume. Because you know the basketball Hall, it's not the NBA Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It qualifies for, you know, college accolades, obviously NBA accolades, overseas accolades, qualifies for all that.
I guess not first ballot though. Not first ballot. I ain't
ballot.
Make my mind, but not first ballot. Okay, I think I was just doing the most.
I think it's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard for me because Blake Griffin, he was so good when he was younger, and obviously when he got traded to the Pistons, he had that one good season with the Pistons. After that, he had that knee injury, so that's really what derailed his career. But I compare Blake Griffin's career to a player like Amari Stoudemire's career. They both have like a similar resume. And Amari Stoudemire, you know, he was playing basically all throughout Phoenix. He played good throughout Phoenix. He started playing good when he first got signed to the Knicks. and then basically the injuries once again derailed his career, just like Blake Griffin. So I compare his career to Blake Griffin's, and Amari Stoudemire, he's not even in the Hall of Fame yet. So I don't know if he's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how long it'll take for Blake Griffin to get in the Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, when I heard that resume, it's making me change it just a little bit because there's some players. Wait, give me a question. Is Jamal Crawford a Hall of Famer?
Jamal Crawford, no, I don't think he's.
No, right? You see,
he's not.
Right? You know, and he got all stars too. Like I said, I mean, like you can have all these.
Jamal Crawford was never All Star.
He wasn't All Star.
No.
Oh, shoot, really?
No, he was never All Star. Jamal Crawford, no.
Oh, damn, I'm tripping. Dang, I thought he was All Star. Oh, shoot, never mind, man. I thought Bo was All Star.
Yeah, he won 3 6 Man of the Year awards, but he was never an All Star. Yes, he was
never mind, man.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm my bad. I'm wrong.
Ronald Ginobili, he was an All Star. He was a 2-time All Star. And he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
he's a Hall of Famer.
Part of that, a large part of that, obviously, he has 4 championships, but part of that what helped him was his accolades overseas when he was playing with Argentina back when they was going up against Team USA. That's what helped his resume too. So.
She said food ready.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. I thought Jamal Crawford was an All-Star. Dang, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy.
But I think Blake Griffin, he'll get into the Hall of Fame. It's gonna have to be a year where the Hall of Fame class is really weak. Like this year, for example, I think this Hall of Fame class is really weak. You had Vince Carter, you had Chauncey Billups, Michael Cooper. Other than that, you really don't know any other players that made the Hall of Fame that come off the top of your head. You know what I'm saying? So I think for Blake Griffin, he'll get in. It's just gonna have to be a year where the Hall of Fame finalists are very weak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think Blake Griffin he'll make the Hall of Fame. It's just a matter, it's just a matter of time, because I have him in that tier list with players like, obviously, like I said, Amari Stoudemire, Joe Johnson, LaMarcus Aldridge. I have him in that tier. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing with Blake Griffin too, he doesn't really have any memorable playoff series. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's had some good playoff runs. Obviously with the Lob City Clippers back then, obviously, but I think.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
No, I was saying, I think Blake Griffin. Oh, you. I can't hear you.
Hello.
Okay, I hear you.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I was saying, Blake Griffin, he'll get it. He's in that tier list with players like, obviously, like I said, Amari Stoudemire, Joe Johnson, LaMarcus Aldridge, players like that who they have good resumes, but they're not Hall of Fame level players. They're like Hall of Very Good, for example.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're like a step.
Yeah.
They're a step below the Hall of Fame status. That's where I have Blake Griffin at. Obviously, he was one of the most popular players at the time in his younger days, but as he got older, he had struggled with injuries and all that, losing early in the playoffs, and it wasn't until basically the end of his career where he made it to the finals with the Boston Celtics. And was he on that Celtics team in 2020? He was on that Celtics team, right?
And when he lost to the Heat, last year.
Oh no, I'm talking about 2022. He wasn't on that team, was he? When the Celtics went to the
Nah, he was on he wasn't.
He was on this. Yeah, so that's the farthest he's been in the playoffs. He went to the conference finals. He never made it to the NBA finals. And Blake Griffin's best chance of making it to the NBA finals was in 2015, where they had a 3-1 lead in the second round against the Rockets, and they just blew that lead. They blew a 3-1 lead, And
Freaking
that's what Blake Griffin is gonna be remembered for, not making it far into the playoffs. But despite that, he is a Hall of Famer. Probably not first ballot. The only way I see him being a first ballot Hall of Famer is if the class is really weak. But
I don't see first ballot. I guess I'll say Hall of Famer, but like right now, not first ballot.
yeah, unless the class is really weak. That's the only way he makes it. That's
Yeah,
the only way he's
really
first
weak.
ballot
Really
Hall of
weak.
Famer. But nonetheless, he had a great career. A lot of memorable seasons. A lot of memorable even though he was losing in the first round, he still had some memorable playoff moments. You know what I'm saying? And
True.
he had a great career. But he's a Hall of Famer. But we're just gonna have to see if he's a first ballot or not. Like
We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
I think he only makes it is if the draft is if the Hall of Fame class is weak. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this episode, man. I'm gonna wrap up this episode. I'm really
Trying to watch the playoffs.
excited for the
Trying to watch
play-in.
the playoffs in 1 hour.
I'm excited for the playoffs. And yeah, anything else you want to say?
Sixers in 7. We're going to the championship. Yeah. No. Okay.
I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. Yeah, that's gonna wrap up this episode, man. And we'll see you guys in the next one.